Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. Today, I'm going to share how I lost my purpose and how I got it back again. So it was a very unique little while, and if you've been listening to my podcast for a while, you've kind of maybe followed me along. If you haven't, I'll give you a really quick recap. I picked up my family. We moved across the country from Ontario to British Columbia. And then I actually stayed home with my son. So I was doing this. I thought I would just stay home and kind of, put my business on hold and kind of let it sit there until he went to school the following year. And then I realized that I couldn't, that I had this deep desire to help people. And I just couldn't put it on hold. There was just no way. And then, so I did this balance where my husband stayed on Eastern time, so his hours would work, and I literally would work after the kids were home from school, and then my husband had the kids, and we did this fun juggle, this fun balancing, and it was working. I was very part-time, but it kept me inspired, kept me motivated, and it filled up my cup. And then we got into the summer months where I really just focused on my kids. I did a little bit here and there, but not a lot. And that's really where I lost sight of my purpose because I got so focused on outer things and my family and other responsibilities. So I lost my balance. I was all family all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. I loved every minute spending with my family. And it was beautiful. And I loved the summer. However, I was doing way more cleaning. We were getting ready for family to come visit. I spent so much of my summer cleaning just to make sure we were cleaning up and things like that. Because beforehand, I was, finding this balance between being with my son and working and then, finding time for my daughter too. So a lot of the cleaning kind of fell away. So in the summer, I picked it up and then obviously I wanted to be outside as much as possible. So my focus went more on domestic tasks, more homey, taking care of the family. And I fell in more into a role of, the stay-at-home mom, the stay-at-home parent. I lost sight of my balance, my work-family balance. So where a lot of people have they have a hard time with their work balance, they work more and then the work family and they don't see their family as much. Mine was the other way. And really what came down to why my balance was so off is I literally wasn't giving myself any me time. The person that talks about self-care, self-love all the time, lost sight of that because I got so caught up in life. Life is full of awesomenesses. And then other things like stressors and different, whatever, lots of things, right? And I literally started just, any free time I had, I would clean or I'd do this and I'd do that. I'd do projects instead of taking care of me. And when we don't slow down, we can't listen from within. I really because I wasn't doing something that fills me up, or actually lots of things that didn't, I was emptying my cup. I've been saying this saying forever, and I probably said it already on a different episode, but I feel like you could hear it again. You can't pour from an empty cup. You got to take care of yourself first. And I wasn't doing that. I was emptying. I actually talked about this years ago as a different thing. So imagine you have this big bowl of beautiful rocks or beautiful shells, whatever it may be, and you're handing them out. And every time you hand them out, you're just disappearing, right? And this is your energy, these things that you're handing out to somebody your children, your husband, partner, spouse, or different family members, friends, and you're giving, maybe you do charity events and you're giving, and that's totally amazing. However, if you're not getting something, if you're not taking time for you, reading, meditating, yoga, moving your body in healthy, loving ways, or whatever amazing things you need, bubble baths, going for walks in nature, but those things that slow you down to take care of you. And for me, one of those big things that to give back is to give out. I love helping people. And that is one of the things that give me energy. So that's another thing to add. But if you're not doing that, your bowl all of a sudden gets empty. And the emptier it gets, the longer it takes to fill back up. Because so if you're, giving, and then you're bringing back to yourself, it's back and forth, and your bowl of rocks or pretty rocks or shells stays full. But if you're just constantly giving, you're just emptying all your energy, and it really takes a long time. So for me, that was what was happening. I really hit a wall at the end of the summer where I was like, whoa, like summer needs to end so school can come back in and I can refine my balance. So I can have this a lot of time. And it took quite some time to really fill my cup up. And I still have moments where I'm like, whoa, Jody, slow down. Take some time for you. Because we can get in these habits that it's just a habit of giving. And it's not that I didn't love giving. I love spending time with my kids. I love doing those things. I love a clean house. So it felt good. But because I was putting all that out there and wasn't taking any time for me, I was losing sight of things. And then the biggest one was I was losing sight of my purpose because I wasn't slowing down enough to listen. And then when I wasn't tapped into my purpose and I wasn't doing the things I really, truly loved every day, cleaning took over instead of helping other people, I was really feeling disconnected from who I was. So what did I do? I started hitting this reset button. I really just was like, whoa. First, I had to become aware of it because honestly, in the summer, I was just having a good old time. I was just so excited. I love hanging, like I said, love hanging out with my kids. However, I needed to be aware of it first so I could schedule myself back in. And I made my Mondays my motivational Mondays. So me time, but learning and things like that. And I also made sure to build up my morning roundup as well. So I started meditating in the morning and doing yoga. And then eventually adding other things like moving my body, feeding my body healthy, loving foods, things like that really help my body and my mind. And then really connecting and getting back to my purpose and really figuring out what that is. And it's just reading inspirational books and things that motivate me, audiobooks and things to just help me stay inspired. Because I love inspiring and motivating other people, but I can't do that if I'm not inspired and motivated. So it was really making myself a priority again, really getting clear on who I am, how I want to show up for myself, for my family, my kids, and for you. And it was really just finding a happy balance. Now, it's not always happy, the balance, but finding a something that was a little bit more manageable. Saying okay to not cleaning as much. And actually, a big one is I got my family involved. We now have a cleaning day after school. We clean together instead of putting it all on me. Because, clutter happens, life happens, and it's not all my clutter. I clean up after myself. So it's having everybody invested in the cleanliness of our house so we can work together as a team. And it was really amazing. And it's really helped that my kids own responsibility for keeping the house organized because I really like my house organized. So I'm not a big fan of clutter. So we work together to do a little cleanup together. And it's really helped them keep their rooms clean and their playroom cleaned and things like that. So it has been really amazing to work together on that. So it's first recognizing that you're disconnected from yourself, just disconnected from what makes you happy, your purpose, or I don't even want to say happy, because we're going to be talking about that next episode about happiness and things like that. But it's finding what fills you up. First, it's realizing that you're emptying at a faster pace than you're bringing it back in. And then it's figuring out what fills you up because it looks different to everyone. And it's slowing down to listen. You can't know your purpose if you're not listening from within. And I lost sight of that myself. Our inner guides, our inner voice, know exactly what we need. However, if you're constantly on go, your to-do list, oh my goodness, I know I've talked about this in another episode. My to-do list was bonkers. I had no time for me. So it's making time for you. And it doesn't have to be a lot. If I just do my bare morning routine, it's literally less than a half hour. But that half hour can fill me up and get me going for the rest of the day. Obviously, you can have little pockets. You don't have to do it all at the beginning of your day either. Take 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. I don't actually know many smokers, but, I don't even, anyways, you could take a break like smokers do, like a 5-minute break. And it could be like a self-love break or a me break, whatever it looks like for you. And take that time to just fill up your cup or listen. Connect to your breath and just be. Journal. Journaling's a really great one, especially if you don't know what's going on inside. Start small. Just be like, I feel, and let it all out, whatever it may be. But to figure out what your purpose is in life, the biggest thing is to allow time to be able to slow down and listen from within. You won't be able to hear what your inner voice is saying to you if you're constantly on go. If you're constantly, looking outward instead of inward. If you're looking for your purpose, I highly recommend slowing down. And I'm actually just reminded of how I got on my path that I'm on right now. I was doing a few things. I went to school for fashion design. I was selling a skincare makeup line, and I was teaching fitness classes. And I was feeling pulled in all different directions. And I was like, I was feeling like I was doing a lot, but not really getting good at any of it. And my one main thing was helping people. So I wanted to dress people to feel good and confident in their clothing and their skin. I had really bad acne most of my life. So it was something that really helped me. And fitness, helping people, feel strong and confident as well. Because it's not all about building muscles. It's about when we work out and we move our bodies, it feels so good. So my main thing was I wanted to help women. That was my main thing. And everything that I was doing was around that. It's all women related. And I remember going I would really like to figure out what I can do to help women. And I was laying down to meditate. I was listening to Hay House Radio, and they had an hour there. I don't know if they still do it, but they had an hour on of meditations. It was a half hour, and then they had a commercial, another half hour. So I was meditating for the first half hour, and then a commercial came on for a school, a women's school, the SWAT Institute, Simply Women Accredited Trainer, and it was for empowerment coaches. And deep in my bones, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And so I signed up, and I've never looked back. And that was really where I've been on a self-love journey for for quite some time, over 10 years now, pretty much 12. But that was like a pivotal moment for me because I did some really deep work, things that I help my clients do now. Because everything I learned as a coach, I did first before I was a coach. So we did, the program was in essence first doing my own healing work before I could help my clients go through it. And it was the best thing I've ever done. So here I was thinking I was just taking this program to become an empowerment coach. Yet that program itself literally helped me be the best. It just helped me really grow and really just come from a more even amazing place in my life. So slowing down allowed me to find the answers. Like I remember before meditating going, oh, I would really like to figure out how I can help women in a way that's not like so all over the map. And I got my answer that day. And I'm so grateful that I slowed down and then I listened from within and then, also to the universe. So slowing down helps us allow like the universe to show us signs because there's signs everywhere. When we moved here, I had a hard time with the fear that I had to get through. And it was really allowing the fear to like move through the fear so I could see all the signs to help me pick a home. And it's just been a beautiful thing. So slowing down, again, helps you listen from within your inner voice, but it also allows the universe to show you signs throughout your day, your week, and your life in general. So if you're looking for some answers, one of the big ones is to slow down and listen from within. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.